Brought to you by
Swoop into Goodwrench's all-for-one price tire event. Installation, balancing, rubber valve stem included. Goodwrench. Why pay extra?
Give it up.
And welcome back, everyone. Glenn Carter is here now with the Carter File. Glenn?
Thank you, Lynn. When Gina Ducey woke up on a June morning of 2 years ago, she had no idea how tragically her life was about to change. Hours later, there was a phone call. Her husband had been badly hurt after falling from a golf cart. He died as a result of that fall. Now Gina Ducey has turned that tragedy into the inspiration for a new book for children, for parents whose lives are almost always turned upside down when the unthinkable happens.
I remember that day in the spring of the year. What my mom said that day I did not want to hear.
Gina Ducey survived the blackest day of her life.
I asked her, "Where's Dad?"
With the strength of her 2 young children.
Your dad's here.
And the courage she takes from a book of simple words and the therapy they bring to her fractured family.
Your dad's very sick in a hospital bed were the scariest words that my mom ever said. The school board and
before the book, there was the day that changed all of their lives forever.
It was the 1st of June, and I had a phone call that my husband had been in a tragic accident. Call me back.
It was a freak accident, a fall from a golf cart, which took her 42-year-old husband, Bob, 2 years ago, leaving her grieving and alone, her children without a father.
He died on the 8th of June, a week later, and I was left with 2 small children, 9 and 5. And my life, someone had just come in and taken my life away from me.
Gina Ducey needed something to help her family survive.
Well, I looked for a book that I could read to them. They didn't like to talk about it a whole lot, and I was worried that they needed to and wasn't sure exactly what to do. And I tried to find a book that would address the sadness of the tragedy, but one that would allow them to know there would be a happily ever after, and we would be fine, a family of 3.
A book she wanted, she couldn't find.
So it's a happy book.
So one night, in the midst of her sorrow,
someone said to me one day, "You should write a book. You have a story to tell. You should write a book." And I'm a teacher, not an author, and I never thought much of it. And one night, I guess I did. I took it upon myself to sit down and write a book. The life I live now is really brand new.
Gina Ducey wrote a children's book, told from a child's point of view, about loss, about love, about learning to live again.
The point of it is, yes, something for my children to always have, but to help other children who have to deal with this type of grief, or to help parents who, when this happens to you, you will go to all costs to ensure that you can take that pain away in some small way. So I hope this book will help parents who have to deal with the loss of a loved one in dealing with children, and to let them know there will be a happily ever after. The next day, my dad went to heaven above. The gift that he left me was all of his love. My mom's tears were falling. I wiped them away. I said, "Don't worry, Mom. We'll be okay."
Gina Ducey is getting her life back. So are her children.
And when something as tragic as this happens, as adults, we sometimes think there will be no hope and there will be no happily ever after. And I wanted to write this book to let children know there will be, and for parents to know that your children will give you strength to find that happiness again. Mom takes me to hockey and ties up my skates. I know that she's taking my dad's special place.
A small book with a large meaning that says even when life's chapters turn bleak, there is light shining brightly just a few pages on.
I know my family won't always feel sad, but we will always miss my own special dad. We'll fill up our days with fun and with laughter, and just the 3 of us will live happily ever after.
This is the book. Really a sweet little book, and you know, it means a lot to her to have written this book. And the thing that Gina wanted to talk about as well was just how quickly your life can change. You know,
You never know.
You never know. Fall out of a golf cart, or some other accident befalls you.
Thanks, Glenn.
All right.
Well, a trip itinerary of 13 provinces in 13 days would be a daunting task for any traveler. Now imagine doing it by foot. Here's NTV's Jody Cook with the story.